Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all my lovely students. I hope that you all are well and fine and doing great at your home. So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, start with the beautiful name of Almighty Allah, who is the most beneficent and the most merciful. So, class, today we are back with a new lecture of the same chapter. So, let's get started. As you know that in our previous classes we were studying one of our chapter. Okay, the last lecture was lecture 26 and this is lecture 27. This is your social studies teacher, Ms. Zunejira. Okay, so let's get started. Everybody knows that we started our chapter of final term, that is climate of South Asia, that is climate of South Asia. In this chapter we had learned many of the things regarding South Asia and their climate, right? So now we are going to learn more about it. Up till now we have seen the difference between climate, weather and season, and we came to know that how the different factors affect the climate of any region. Okay, so the climate of any country, city, continent, area is highly dependent on some of the factors. What are these factors? There are mainly six factors, including distance from equator, distance from sea, height above sea level, the direction of wind, the direction of mountains, the direction of wind, and human activities. Okay, then we started learning about monsoon. We came to know that monsoon is basically the season, the rainy season that is short. Okay, and it can occur in winter and summer as well. Afterwards we learned about cyclones, and we came to know that cyclones are the circular storm that causes, when they are caused, they are caused when a small area loses its air pressure. This is a key point. Okay, if I ask you that why cyclones are caused, you can simply answer me that they are caused when a small area suddenly loses its air pressure. So what happens, the wind around it start moving in circular direction and they form cyclones. If the cyclone is in reverse direction, that would be known as anticyclone. So today we are going to learn about the next topic of this chapter, that is climate of South Asian countries. Okay, we would slightly see that the climate of South Asian countries, how they are different from one another, and what are the key points for each South Asian country that we must remember, keeping in our mind that climate. Okay, now here comes the map of South Asian countries. Okay, here is the South Asia, in which you can see the seven countries. Okay, we know that seven countries are included in South Asia and they are in front of you, where you can see the basic point we came to know in this chapter is the areas which are near to the equator would be hotter, the areas near the sea would be cooler or colder, right? So here is the map in front of you, where you can see that the areas or the countries of South Asia which are near the pole, it means uh, which are which are situated near the poles, like this, where I see the northern areas of Pakistan, the northern areas of India, plus Nepal and Bhutan are also near to the pole as compared to the equator, because if we see the equator, so Pakistan and mostly Sindh and Punjab are near to the equator, while northern areas, Balochistan, Quetta, Mari, these kind of cities are near the pole. Likewise, India is also having some of the colder regions. Nepal is colder, Bhutan is colder, and here we can see Maldives. What is Maldives is basically number of the small islands. It is the cluster of islands. Maldives is not a single island. It is a cluster of island in which many of the islands are there. Okay, and what are the islands? We know that islands are the areas which are surrounded by the water all around it. So if the area is near the sea, if the area is near to the sea, so there would be sea breeze, as we talked about Hawke's Bay and Sea View. Likewise, Maldives would not have The we can say that hotter climate would not be there. There would be pleasant climate. Why there would be pleasant climate? Because they are near to the sea, because basically they are islands. So let's get started. One by one we are going to learn about them. Here is the Pakistan. We need to read out these sentences. Pakistan is situated in Southeast Asia. East is near the equator. It is not south or north. Okay. The country is listed in the 30 world countries. Pakistan consists of 4 provinces. Everybody knows. Pakistan got independence. This is not needed over here. Pakistan is bordered by India to the east, Afghanistan, the west, Iran to the southwest, while China borders are the country is the northeast. Now here comes the geography. The geography of Pakistan is profound blend of landscape varying from plains to desert. It means we are having the plains, we are having the mountains, we are having the deserts as well. Forests are there, hills are there, plateaus are there, ranging from coastal areas of the Arabian Sea in the south of the mountains of the Karakoram ranges. Do you know where is the K2? K2 is basically the part of Karakoram ranges, okay? Ranges in the north. Climate Pakistan lies. Here comes the about climate. Climate of the Pakistan lies. Okay, if we see the position of Pakistan, that lies in the subtropical arid zone, and most of the country is subjected to semi-arid climate based on the physiographic factors and causes of diversity in climate. The country has been classified into 4 main regions. This is not needed for us. So let's discuss the key point of this. Here comes the page of your book. Okay, so we are now focused that what we need to learn. The mountains in the north are cold. Okay, because mountains are on altitude, and we know that if we go higher, if we go to some certain altitudes or height, the climate would become cold. So obviously, the mountains in the north are cold because of the high altitude, and temperature fall below freezing point during winter. It means the northern areas are colder throughout the year, but in winter the temperature over there falls below this freezing point. It means they become too much cold. Okay, the plains in Punjab receive considerable rainfall from monsoon during summer. Okay, it means in summer monsoon occurs, monsoon is there. The other parts of the country, however, do not receive much rainfall. If we compare the Sindh with Punjab, we get the less rainfall as compared to the Punjab. So the northern areas are colder. Okay, the mountains there are much coldest, and the temperature falls below the freezing point. And the Punjab, there is rainfall in summer monsoon. The other countries are not receiving much rainfall because, and agriculture depends mainly on the rivers, the coastal areas. Now here comes another point regarding the climate of Pakistan. That is, the coastal areas such as Karachi are famous for their temperature, for their temperate climate. The word temperate indicates moderate, medium, not high, not low. Okay, so temperate climate due to sea breeze. Why Karachi is having the temperate climate? It is having the temperate climate due to sea breeze. But now it seems to be changing because of the global warming. But now, year by year, you will notice one thing, that the summer duration would be longer than winter. It is obviously longer than winter, but it would be increasing year by year because of the global warming. Okay, however, the climate of part is still mild as compared to the other areas. If we compare the climate of Karachi with other areas, so they are mild and gentle. They are having mild and gentle temperature. Now here comes India. The mountains of the north are cold, like Karachi, Pakistan, just like Pakistan. Many parts of the country receive heavy rainfall from monsoon during summer. This is also same as Pakistan. Cherrapunji is in the Assam region. There are different regions. You need to remember about. Assam region has one of the heaviest rainfall in the world. Okay, so the Western Ghats also receive heavy rainfall. The plains of the Ganges lie just below the Himalayas. Himalayas ranges are there in Pakistan as well as it goes in India as well. Okay, so plains of the Ganges lie just below the Himalayas and they receive rainfall due to the direction of those mountains. The season just before the monsoon, especially the month of May, is very hot in most of the India. Temperatures may rise as high as 51 degrees centigrade. And this is too much high, you can see. We can understand the intensity of this heat by remembering the water starts to boil at 100 degrees centigrade. Now, how can we consider this temperature? We must know that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade. It means the half of this temperature in India, it gets 51 degrees centigrade. That is too much. Okay. So similarly, we can see one thing here that the climate of India and Pakistan are not different from one another in a great way. Okay, they are slightly different. They are slightly different. Okay, if we talk about Bangladesh, when we were talking about natural resources in South Asia, we came to know there one point over there that Bangladesh depends heavily on the monsoon. Beta, switch off the camera, Marusha. Okay, almost all of the country receives heavy rainfall during summer. We got to know in the chapter Natural Resources of South Asia when we were discussing our crops. We got to know there that Bangladesh is a country that receives heavy rainfall. Okay, so that is dependent on rainfall during the summer. Yes, very good, Alina. Their agriculture also depends on rainfall. Here are some of the other countries of South Asia: Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Maldives. Okay, Nepal, Bhutan are basically having the similar climate. Their climate are similar to each other. Okay, there are slighter differences. The climate of Nepal is determined by its height above the sea level. Nepal is situated on the high mountains. Okay, if they are situated on high mountains, how would be the temperature over there? Of course, it would be lower temperature. Okay, hence the climate is cold most of the year, but summer can be hot in some areas. Okay, but normally it is colder than other countries of South Asia. The country also receives heavy rainfall due to the direction of the mountains because they are situated on the mountains. Okay, so they are having cold climate over there. The climate of Bhutan is very similar to the Nepal, as I told you, because both countries are situated close to each other and have similar physical features. Sri Lanka is situated close to the equator, and therefore the climate is hot and humid. Climate is hot and humid. Now here you can see we have talked about equator. Again, we can relate that how the distance from equator affect the climate. Okay, so it is close to the equator, therefore the climate is hot and humid in most of the part of the country. The mountainous areas are cold because of their altitude or height above the sea level. Some areas receive heavy rainfall from monsoon during summer. As I told you regarding Maldives, that it is basically the cluster of small islands. So Maldives consist of small islands, which means that all the different parts of the country are not very far from sea. Okay, because they are island, they are surrounded by sea, so they are all the parts of the country are not very far from the sea. Hence, the temperature is mild and gentle and pleasant throughout the year. Why? Because of the sea breeze. You can relate here the climate of Karachi, because we are having a coastal regions like Hawke's Bay and Sea View. So the temperature of Karachi is mild, gentle, pleasant as compared to the other regions of Pakistan. Likewise, Maldives is totally surrounded by the sea. Okay, that is totally surrounded by the sea, so there would be pleasant climate. There would be mild temperature because of the sea breeze. What is sea breeze? The air that comes from sea. Okay, rainfall occurs from the monsoon during summer as well as in winter. Okay, now here comes the last topic of our chapter, that is global warming. Some of the students were asking regarding this topic before as well. So I gave you the slide review of this term, that global warming is basically increase in the temperature of the world or the earth. Global, you can take a word from it, that is globe. Warming means to rise the temperature or the temperature to be risen. Okay, so global warming relates to the increase in the average temperature of the earth's surface that has been observed in recent years, and it is projected to continue. It is debated as to whether this is a natural occurrence or whether human activities has impacted on the accelerated it. So, of course, it is happening due to the natural, it is also a natural occurrence. But apart from this, we can take number of the human activities that have a great impact on it. It means our activities are increasing the temperature in the atmosphere. Okay, that would be pollution. Yes, very good, Alina. That can be due to pollution, different activities. One of the main factor can be deforestation. What are we doing nowadays? We are just deforesting every forest. We are cutting their trees. Okay, now this deforestation is causing the temperature to be increased. How? Remember one thing, if there is increase of carbon dioxide, there would be increase in temperature as well. We can relate both of these. Okay, if carbon dioxide would be increased in the atmosphere, the temperature would be increased, and we know that plants absorb carbon dioxide. So if we will grow more of the plants, so they will absorb more of the carbon dioxide, and then the temperature of the environment can be reduced. Okay, so deforestation is the main factor that affect. Okay, yes, very good, you Sarah. Less rainfall and less oxygen, very good. Okay, good. So this is called the global warming. It is also known as greenhouse effect. What is this called? Greenhouse effect. Why it is called greenhouse effect, I'm gonna tell you. Global warming is when the ozone layer, I don't know you have heard about this layer or not. I'm gonna give you the review of it. Ozone layer that surrounds the earth is getting thinner and thinner day by day, year by year. It is the pollution that causing this. The sun is getting closer to earth, causing the severe weather warmings. It causes very bad floods in winter and hot summers. Okay, yes. So, class, okay, I was going to give you the introduction to ozone layer. Ozone layer is basically the protecting sheet or the protecting layer around the earth, and that is created by nature for preservation of the earth. It prevents us from harmful rays. Sun does not give us only useful rays, the sun gives us harmful rays as well. Infrared radiations is given by sun that is greatly harmful for us, that causes the skin cancer and different disease. Apart from this, these kind of rays are really harmful for the plants and different objects as well. Okay, so ozone layer is just getting thinner and thinner, and what is the factor that is making it thinner and thinner year by year? That is the pollution. So it means pollution is the main factor that is increasing the global warming. As I told you that it is also called as greenhouse effect. Most of the heat is absorbed by greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are the gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and different other gases. reflected. Now this is, you can see, it is a kind, this is atmosphere. Okay, here is the ozone layer as well. This ozone layer prevents the earth from different harmful rays. Most of the heat is absorbed by greenhouse gases and reflected in all the direction, warming the earth. Green, that is a color. House effect, it means the greenhouse, that is basically a globe which is full of plants, forest and trees. That is affected. That is affected. This greenhouse is being affected by human activities and different, you can say, the different pollutions as well. Okay, so this is called as greenhouse effect as well. What is greenhouse effect? That is global warming basically. So this is the page of your book. For centuries, people operated their machines by hand and with the help of the animals. Their machines were simple. However, this situation began to change by 1800. Do you know most of the inventions were invented in 80s? So it means the pollution from 80s is just the pollution increased from 80s because most of the inventions were there. Machines are very useful for us, no doubt, but there are side effects as well. Okay, they are good for us, they can make our work easier, but they are harmful to our environment. And if the environment would be affected, of course the human life would be affected, plant life would be affected, animals life would also be affected. By that time many new machines had been invented in Europe, America, Australia. These new machines did more work than the old ones, but they could not be used without fuel. Do you know when we burn a fuel that produces carbon dioxide, what do? We just get the fuel in our vehicles to run them, right? These fuels are burned in the engines, and in the result, they produce carbon dioxide. Okay, so what is fuel? Fuel is basically the source of energy, but it has the side effects as well. Ajwa, good. Okay, so here we are talking about most of the machines which were invented in 80s. They are dependent on fuels such as coal and gas. For example, some examples of these machines are the steam engine, the locomotive engine, ginning machines, and so on. At the first, do you know there was a man who predicted it? He was a chemist. His name was Svend Arrhenius. Svend Arrhenius was the one who indicated this thing that year by year the temperature is increasing gradually. In 1896, he said that due to the increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the temperature is increasing, and in the future, air's temperature would be increased. That is very harmful for human life. But nobody heard him very seriously. Nobody took him serious. Afterwards, everybody had seen the changes which he was telling. Here is the picture of page number 42, and this is an incomplete line from the first line, so I am going to read out it from book. Take out your page number 41. On page number 41 you can see the last two lines. At first nobody listened to him. Listen to Svend Arrhenius, who was a chemist who predicted it. Okay, but soon the temperature of the world began to rise just as Arrhenius had said, and by 1990 it had become it had become so hot. Wait. Okay. So then everybody has seen that UNO, we know that UNO, United Nations Organization that works for human welfare. Okay. So afterwards it became the serious position that year by year temperature is gradually increasing. Okay. So UNO asked many of the scientists to have some of the experiments and their hypotheses and different procedures should be there which through which we can indicate or predict that what would be the temperature after some time. So this is how we came to know that global warming is basically caused by the increase in carbon dioxide. Okay, CFC is there. We would talk about it about CFC in the next class. I want everyone to take out their copies and book. Okay, here's again the picture from your book that is showing the inventions, but these inventions are having the impact on global warming. Here is the picture of the globe. Here are the instructions. Please, beta, take out your copy too quickly. We don't have much time. Quickly take out your copy too and make the indices as exercise B and C. Exercise B and C we are going to do today. What you are supposed to do, you will write the complete question from page number 43 of your book. Everybody has the page. You can give the heading of exercise B. Then you are supposed to write complete answer. Complete, sorry, complete question would be written. Choose the correct answer. Your exercise B is choose the correct answer. Beta index is exercise B and C. Ajwa, we don't have much time. Hurry up. Page number 43. Page number 43 of your book. Copy down the question of exercise B, that is choose the correct answer. Choose the correct answer. This is the question for exercise B. Done. Okay, then write down complete statement that is written in your book. The climate in different areas of South Asia is, then you will write three options: the same everywhere, slightly different, very different. Hurry up, class. Write down the complete question, choose the correct answer. Okay, then write the statement number one completely. The climate in different areas of South Asia is, then in the next line you can write the options: same everywhere, slightly different, very different. Afterwards you are going to have, you are going to tick which one answer, very different. So basically the climate in different areas of South Asia is very different. Class, I am repeating again. You are supposed to write this statement completely. Here I have written the answers only, okay? You will write question number, the statement of exercise B, that is choose the correct answer. Then you will write complete statement of bit number 1. The climate in different areas of South Asia is, then you will write different options which is written in your book as well. And these are the same everywhere, slightly different, very different. Okay, from which you are going to have tick on very different. Then copy down the next one. Copy down the next one. Yes, yes, Iman. Yes. After writing the complete statement, you will just mark tick over there, just, okay? Beta, your writing should not be untidy if you are unable to, if you are unable to do your work fast, so you can do it in the book right now, and afterwards after the class you can complete it from book, okay? Because basically these are the book exercises and I would show you the answers only, okay? So basically you have to copy it down from your book. So if you cannot write very fast, because I do not want your untidy writing, okay? If you do not, if you are unable to write them fast, so you can also do it afterwards, do it in your book right now, okay? Now, the bit number two is the longest season in South Asia is winter, summer, or spring. That is summer. Okay, let me correct it. It would be summer. It would be summer. Okay, the answer number two is summer. The question was the longest season in South Asia is winter, summer, or spring. That is summer. Okay. Afterwards, the areas lying around the Tropic of Cancer receive direct sunshine. That would be only during summer. This would be number three would be only during summer. That would be only during summer. Have you done it? So here are five answers in front of you. You can write them. You can do it in your book right now, and you can complete it after the class. Okay. Number four is most of the rainfall in South Asia is the result of global warming, winter monsoon, or summer monsoon. So answer is summer monsoon. The last one is global warming is caused by increase in oxygen in the atmosphere, water vapors, carbon dioxide, and some other gases in the atmosphere. So answer would be carbon dioxide and some other gases. Okay, class, we are having just 2 minutes, so I am just turning over the page and I am going to show you the answers over here. Okay. Exercise C is basically your fill in the blanks and you are supposed to write the question completely. Exercise C, you will be giving heading exercise C, then you will write the complete question, fill in the blanks, then you will write complete statement of each blank. Okay? Be very careful. I do not want just answers in your copy. I want complete statement of every fill in the blank. On Friday, I would see your copies. I would check your copies. Everybody would switch on the camera. Everybody would show me the work on Friday, okay? Class, the last one fill in the blank, that is 7 and 5. So basically, if you see the statement of fill in the blank number 5, that is the earth has dash continents and dash oceans, okay? So 7 continents and 5 oceans. Alina, you do not need to be worried regarding midterm, okay? We will talk on Friday. Basically, there is nothing. You will be doing your objective portion. Your paper would be of 50 marks and it would be mostly objective. And the chapter till natural resources of South Asia are included in your midterm syllabus. Okay, you need to read out your book. You need to learn the question in your book copy. No, no, long questions will not be there, but conceptual